Today I'm going to show you how to use the new Export to CSV feature inside RSpace. Now this feature is ideal for taking a cohort of data in the form of a set of identical or similar or even different RSpace documents, and then looking at the data in a field by field manner to compare different fields or to look for trends or anomalies within a series of documents, which in this case might represent perhaps a sequence of 8 different experiments. Now I'm going to select my experiments manually by just simply clicking their select box, but there are numerous other ways that I could create this cohort of data. I could use the search engine to build a collection of files based on their unique identifier number, or I could use browsing to a particular folder or notebook to find these RSpace documents, but in this case I've just selected them manually. Let's assume this represents a sequential series of experiments where I've changed some variable and I've looked at the result of changing that variable each time that I've done that. I'm going to say I'd like to export this cohort of data as a CSV file. RSpace will build the CSV for me. I can go ahead and choose some of the different columns if I want to, but I'm going to just go ahead and say export all rows to CSV for simplicity. And then I can close my export wizard if I want to. Now I'm going to go to my downloads folder and I'm going to find the file that I just created and open it up using LibreOffice. So here we can see my various experiments. Each row represents one experiment and each column is some variable from within that experiment. If we go back to the original RSpace documents, I can open one of those and I can show you here that this document is made up of a number of named fields, and each column within my exported CSV file represents the data from one of these different fields across the different experiments. So here is my collection of 8 experiments. I can choose this row now and I can say to LibreOffice that I'd like to sort based on the name of the different experiments to get these in order. And now if I want to, I can choose a particular variable. Let's go ahead and choose this mysterious variable called genetic variable. And I'll say I'd like to make a chart, and I'm going to make this a line chart with showing points and lines here, and then say finish. So here is a chart that I've made now that displays how this one variable, genomic variable, has changed across the different experiments that I performed. If I want to now, I could even go ahead and export this as an image and save that to my desktop. Let's just call that 1 for brevity. Now what I could do is I could go back to RSpace and I could possibly make a new document. I might say something like create basic document, and we're going to call this document something like extraction analysis. In the text of my basic document, I'll say something like, here is the trend I see in my data. And I can actually do 2 things here. I can now, if I want to, go ahead and insert the original CSV file that I had generated from that cohort of data. And to really make this obvious to my downstream audience exactly what's happening, if I want here, I can also go ahead and drop in the image that I just made. And I can go ahead and do that by just drag and drop too as well. I'll just choose the image of the chart and drop that onto the page too as well. And we end up here with something like this. So here we can see we've got the CSV file and a close-up of the chart embedded in the page. And now if I wanted to, I could go ahead and transfer all of these documents, the 8 experiments, plus the final analysis and the chart, into a new folder or into a notebook if I wanted to.